Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my Afterthoughts review of The Times They Are a Changeling. I would promise that would be the last time, but I really can't. I just love that. That's great. This episode was really sentimental, but it was definitely too much too fast, and ultimately I don't think it accomplished what it was trying to do. Which was really quite sad. Yeah, I mean, in short, I really do feel this episode did not accomplish what it was trying to do, because it didn't really make a good enough case of why should we trust the changelings, because, you know, it's not that we don't like changelings because they're scary looking, it's only because they imprisoned our princess, invaded our home, enslaved our citizens. I don't see that as a reason to not trust someone. I did my best, Equestria. We all did. But it just wasn't enough. Forgive us, Equestria. So yeah, when Dr. Wolf said this episode was about prejudice, I was kind of like, well, not really, because, well, most of these characters have had first hoof experience of the changelings and being under attack and So this really isn't prejudice, an idea that's not based on any kind of facts or anything. It's like they saw this attack and experienced it themselves. And not to mention the changelings are deceptive by nature. And again, they've had first hoof experience of that as well, especially Shining Armor and Cadence. I can understand how Shining Armor would be like, there's no such thing as a nice changeling, because he was directly abused and controlled by Chrysalis herself. I could understand him not wanting to trust changeling. And not to mention as basically being captain of the Royal Guard. I can understand him being as like, no, they are the enemy, we must destroy them. So that's kind of difficult. But at the same time, this kind of is prejudice in that, yeah, we were under attack by the changelings. But we still don't really know a lot about them. Maybe they're being forced to do this by Chrysalis and those sorts of things, and who knows, maybe there are some nice changelings out there. And I can't help but also think is that this sort of reminds me of North and South Korea in the sense of, do you know that North and South Korea are technically still at war with each other? Because they never signed a peace agreement. It's the same thing here. We didn't make friends with the changelings or, you know, sign a peace agreement. The changelings are basically just thrown out of Equestria. So that conflict basically is not over. So yeah, they have no reason to trust this changeling. But at the same time, we don't know anything about the changelings. Maybe there are some nice changelings. Maybe there's whole groups of the changelings that are saying like, we don't want to do this. It's like, this is terrible. There must be another way. Yeah, so that sort of kind of was the sort of the lesson here is that, well, you know, even people who seem to be these big evil people who just want to do harm to us, you know, maybe there's the possibility that maybe there's some nice people out there too. Reminds me of a line from MS-18. Both sides have good people, reasonable people. Ironically, though, however, after making this big speech, everybody in the room laughs at him because, well, this is basically a soldier in front of a court-martial, and it's like saying such things as like, yeah, you're gonna be kidding me. In short, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why the ponies do not want or should even trust a changeling. And this is why this episode really fails to accomplish what it's trying to do, which is effectively trying to convince us to give this changeling a chance. Well, okay, sure, the changeling saved Spike's life, and yeah, he doesn't seem so bad, but what if this is just a cunning ploy just to get close to Flurry Heart? Of course, when that moment actually comes, we see that that's not true, because if that was true, he would just be feeding on her love and all that stuff, but no, he's backing away, being like, I'm so sorry, oh. I think at this point we're reasonably convinced, but still, yeah, the song, it was definitely very touching, and it sort of accomplished what it was trying to do, but I do like how at the end of the song, most of the ponies are still like, grr. It's like, grr. How could they have made this episode better? I think probably tying into the parts where they think Thorax is just a pony. It's like, he's cool. It's like, look how much fun he was. But even then, that would be kind of problematic, because what if he's just doing that just to deceive us and get, you know, to trust him and so that, you know, he can get close to Flurry Heart? It's just difficult, to be honest. But I do appreciate what this episode was trying to do. Because obviously, we should give people a chance, and it's always bad to label an entire group of people as being the enemy, or this people are always evil, and there's no possibility that anybody from this group or whatever could be nice or anything. Because I guess that was sort of what the song was trying to say, is that, well, if day can turn into night, and night into day, and all these things, well, why can't we believe that somebody from this side could actually be nice and actually want to be our friend? But again, I think it needed more than that. Something more needed to be done. And I do agree with Dr. Wolf. This episode does feel kind of rushed. It feels like there's a lot of things going on all at once. Like at the end, Twilight's giving this big speech and she's inserting this lesson about, oh, friendship lessons can happen anywhere. And sometimes I think, wait, what? Why are you bringing that up, Twilight? It's like, it feels like that comes out of nowhere, because it is trying to teach the primary lesson, but it is also trying to teach the secondary lesson at the same time. You know, which is okay, but it just feels like there's definitely too much too fast. Everything just happens way too quickly. It is like, okay, I'm glad that the ponies are going to give him a chance, but it just feels like they're just going to trust him now with complete open arms, and that just seems too much too soon. I do have to say that Cadence, I think, is way too trusting with her kid. I mean, not just with Thorax, but with Sunburst as well. It's like, they barely know this guy, and they're basically put him in charge of basically watching over their kid. Which I'm kind of surprised at, because they describe the Crystallers as someone who presents the child to the crowd or whatever during the Crystaling. It felt like it was just a one-time thing. It's not like they're making him the godparent of Flurry Heart. And if that is the case, that seems to be really, whoa, wait a minute here. You barely know this guy and you're gonna make him the godparent of your kid? Whoa. And I can't help but also think they've invented these things called, you know, carriages that have wheels that you can put the baby in so you don't have to hold it all day. You know, Sunburst must be exhausted carrying around Flurry Heart with his magic all day, so... But still, I guess I mean, in some ways that kind of makes sense, to be honest, in some ways. But still, I do like what this episode was trying to do, and it sort of accomplished it, but it's one of these, when you really stop and think about it, it definitely could have been better. It could have accomplished it better. But still, I did like what they were trying to do, not just with this lesson of, oh, you know, we should give people a chance, but also that sometimes heroes can make mistakes and not be very heroic, and sometimes just not live up to our expectations, and sometimes just flat fail. Of course, we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all do things that we sometimes are not very proud of, and sometimes we fail to do things that we know we should do. But this is why Spike proves that he absolutely is a true hero, because you know what? He realizes he makes this mistake, and then immediately goes, fixes it. He says to Thorax, you don't have to ask me to give up the love and admiration of the Crystal Empire. I'm gonna go and do what I should have done right here, right now. And go, I just thought, maybe he kind of learned that from Twilight when she realized that, oh, I've lost touch with all my friends. It's like, I gotta go fix this right now. It's like, she doesn't wait, you know, an hour from now or tomorrow. She goes and takes care of it right there and then. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, overall, this episode was okay. Not great, but okay. It definitely could have been better, but overall, it was pretty good. And it was certainly touching, and it does give us hope, because there is hope for us yet. Yay! And I do hope that the changelings and ponies can be friends, and that maybe even the changelings can learn to love. That would just be so touching and so great. Because as somebody once said, what is the best way to destroy an enemy? By making them your friend. Oh, this is so nice and so touching, and I do hope that we can all be friends, because that would just be so magic and just so awesome. Oh, it just brings a tear to my eye. I think I better go now before I start to cry and my armor starts to rust. It just takes so long to clean, I tell you. So that is the end of my afterthought review of The Times They Are a Changeling. This is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.